I'm on my way to my job right now, my 9 to 5 work, my grind, whatever you want to call it, daily grind. Today, but tomorrow, hopefully, I won't be having to commute to my job that I don't very much care for. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you guys feel the same thing, but there's not a moment or a time more in my daily life that I want my YouTube to take off, that I want my business to take off, than on my way to work. And I put myself in this position, right? Like, this is something I prayed for. I wanted a job, like I needed a job. I got to make money. I got kids. I got a wife. But it's like my actual dream is to, get paid even when I'm not clocking in. Get paid more the harder I work. Have enough money at the end of all my bills and stuff like that, to have money like left over to invest, to save, to, to just spend, just to enjoy. And there's no time, I don't know why, there's no time that I want that most than when I'm on my way to work. Because honestly, it's to me, like, on the way to work is like a reminder. It's like you're voluntarily taking yourself to somewhere you really don't want to be, and that shows character. That shows character. You're willing to do what it takes to get exactly what you want, right? Or exactly what you need. We all do it. We got to do it. We're adults. We got to drive to work. But I'm talking to whoever is building something or is trying to build something. If you're not getting out of your job or your work, and you actually have dreams and stuff like that, if you're not working towards them when you get out of work, you got to start. You got to start. It's rough. It's tough. It's downright, it feels not the right thing to do, because you're probably exhausted from the end of your day, mentally, physically, emotionally. You're just drained. And the last thing you want to do is pick up a camera or pick up your computer or whatever you do to do deep work. And I fully understand that feeling. But it's like, today we're going to work, but tomorrow we're going to have our freedom. That's how I feel. I hope one day, if I'm driving this early in the morning, it's to go to the gym or to get breakfast or to go grab a coffee with my wife or drop off the kids at school, and not necessarily to clock into a job that I, don't necessarily really care for. I'm thankful for my job. I'm thankful for the people that work at my job. Some of those people are really cool. But this is just what we got to do today, so we can have the freedom we want tomorrow. Let your job be the fuel, if you will, to the rocket that sends you to the moon. Like, it serves its purpose. It's a little slow burn, right? It's not happening as fast as you want, but just stack that money, invest in your business, invest in your social media, whatever you're trying to do. And you know what I mean? Just eventually just get there. Just get there slowly, however you have to get there. But that's what we got to do today. I'm not necessarily knocking a 9 to 5. I'm not saying they're bad things, but I don't know. I feel like there's other people out there that feel the same way I do, and in a way, I almost feel guilty about it. Right? I don't know if that's weird. I don't know if you guys experience something like that. Like, you kind of feel guilty about not wanting to work a 9 to 5, not wanting what a majority of people have or people want. Right? It almost makes you feel like you're kind of being ungrateful. It's kind of a weird feeling. It almost feels like you should be grateful for the job you have. But then you realize and you reflect, and your job should be grateful to have you. Your job should be grateful to have you. If you bust your butt at work, if you clock in early, clock out late to help out your team and to help out your manager, like, they should be grateful for you. All right, sorry, y'all. I had to pull over real quick to to get my phone back on the mount. This thing freaking fell off. But yeah, what I was saying. So basically, if you think about it, your job values you sometimes, right? Not all the time, but they value you enough to give you the responsibility that it takes to make them money, right? They value your time, your skill, your energy, your focus enough to pay you, you know? So why aren't you doing the same for yourself? Like, why don't you value your time enough, your energy enough, your skills enough, like to basically like honor yourself, like build something for yourself. You know, tell me that's not like facts right there. Tell me I didn't cook with that right there. Like, your job values you enough to pay you, right? To pay you a salary, pay you an hourly rate, enough to where they're like, all right, I trust you in doing these skills and doing this task that I assigned to you in order to make me some money, or make us some money, make the company some money, you know? And think about it. Like, someone else who had a dream, right? Down the chain, right? If you go down the chain all the way up to like whoever the founder of the company is, or founders, you know, they trusted enough people, right? They trusted enough people to give them pay for them in return, to give them focus, energy, time, you know, and use their skills, their even their personalities, like, you know, to trade them for money. And it's like, why aren't you doing that for yourself? You know, why aren't you doing that for yourself? And if you feel like you don't have skills, or you don't have, like, dude, you have time and you have energy, like you have a skill, you have some sort of skill, something, you know, whether it's, you know, talking to people, you know, having a good personality, being funny is even a good skill, whatever it is. Or maybe you're not like that. Maybe you're not the most outgoing, like, loud or funny, or, you know what I mean, animated person, but, you know, you can draw like nobody else. You can knit like nobody else, you know? You can, I don't know, like cup stack like no one else. Like whatever it is, like, you got something that makes you unique, and something that if someone else doesn't pay you for, like, you can pay yourself with it. And nowadays it's like there's so many things that you can do. Like, there's so many things that you can do, that we have social media, we have YouTube, we have, like, you know, communities, like paid communities, where you can literally make a living, or make some sort of an income, if it's not a living, like, with something you do, you know, with something that you got given, you know what I mean? You got given from God to, like, be able to do whatever it is. But, you know, at this point, you know, I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but, you know, as long as you guys kind of know exactly, like, I just want you guys to embody the same feeling that I'm feeling right now, because I know people experience it all the time, especially when they're driving to work, you know? Like, I feel like for me, that's like the time that I feel it the most intensely. Like I'm like, dang, like, it's early in the morning, like, you know, my energy isn't the highest. It's, you know, just because I'm gonna go to work, you know what I mean? It's kind of draining. It's kind of weird. Like, it's kind of draining before your day starts. And it's because, like, you're not aligned, you know? You're not aligned with what's there for you. You're not aligned with what you really want out of life, you know? And I don't know, like, I just tell yourself it's possible, because that's what I've been doing. That's why I started this channel, to tell myself it's possible, to show myself it's possible, and to show other people especially that it's possible, you know? Tell other people, preach to them, say, like, man, like, whatever you want to do, like, it's very possible. It's very possible, you know? And you just got to try it. Like, there's someone out there that has it aligned for them, but they're telling themselves it's not for them, you know? And if that's you watching, like, you should just start that business. If you're going to do YouTube, start a YouTube channel, like, today. Like, if you can't record today, plan today, you know, think of titles, do research, whatever, but record tomorrow, like, ASAP. If you're going to start a business, same thing, like, research, or if you already have been researching, just freaking jump. Like, just take the jump, take the leap, and do it, because you won't regret it. You won't regret it. I've started and failed, like, I think it's like over 7 businesses, and honestly, I don't regret any of them. in terms of like starting them. I don't regret starting any of them. That's the only thing. The only thing I regret is not finishing them. You know, not seeing it through all the way to the point where I can say like, dang, like I saw it through. You know, maybe it didn't work out, but it's like I learned so much along the way. And that's kind of what happened. You know, I learned a lot along the way. You know, but I'm gonna leave you guys there. I'm about to clock in at work right now. And if you're like me, drop it in the comments. You know, do you feel the same way? Like, man, like I want the life that I want the most when I'm driving to work, or when I'm about to go to bed, knowing that I have to go to work tomorrow. You know, let that drive you. Let that drive you to want to start something. That pain, that anxiety that you feel like right before you have to clock in. And remember that feeling every time that you're at home sitting on your butt. Which there's nothing wrong with resting, but if you've rested for, you know, for as long as you needed to, and now you're just being lazy, you know, remind yourself of that feeling that you get right before you clock in, or right when you know you got to go to work, or being at work, and how stressful and how not worth it felt to you. Remember that feeling before you decide to, you know, binge watch a show, or, you know, take a 2-hour nap, you know. Like, remember that feeling, you know, because that's the stuff that's gonna fuel you. It's gonna fuel you. But nonetheless, I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you guys have a good one. Later.